I'm Jane Marzello.
And I'm Bonnie Daly. For our presentation, we conducted a food service assessment of Sodexo at the Sage Colleges, specifically focusing on McKinstry Dining Hall at Russell Sage and Troy.
Sodexo serves Sage College students in addition to faculty and staff. Sodexo employs approximately 75 people with 15 additional staff hired for special events when needed.
This is McKinstry Dining Hall here in Troy. It serves 650 to 700 people per day.
On the Troy campus, Sodexo also runs Time for All Seasons, which is located in the Buckman Pavilion and serves about 300 per day.
And then we have Lucille's Cafe, located in the Shea Learning Center, which serves about 100 per day.
Dining is casual, with a cafeteria-type setting, including an area with large, comfortable chairs and typical of a coffee house setting.
Current popular music is played throughout the day.
There are a variety of seating options.
Temperatures for cooking and holding foods are monitored regularly.
The food is self-serve or buffet style. This ensures customers receive the correct item.
As we said, we'll be focusing mostly on the McKinstry Dining Hall. This is the floor plan of the kitchen. As you can see, it is very large, which is necessary to accommodate the staff and supplies that are needed on a daily basis.
Here are some photos of the kitchen. The floor you can see is non-slip and the walls are tiled, which makes wiping them down very easy. You can see from the photo on the right that the glazed wall tiles are well over the optimum height of 5 feet 8 inches.
They have a lot of room for storing equipment and kitchen tools. Everything is stored upside down to keep it dry and safe from contamination. You can also see that everything is more than 6 inches off the ground to ensure that the floors can be cleaned properly.
Sage has been slowly upgrading their equipment over the years, which is evident from the new coolers in these photos. This is done by Sage, but Sodexo does financially contribute to these purchases. We'll discuss more about purchasing procedures in later slides.
These two deep fryers on the left are also brand new.
The food prep areas are clean and organized.
Sodexo uses the 3-sink system as we learn to wash, rinse, and sanitize.
More kitchen photos here. Everything is neat and organized. Though it may be hard to tell from the center picture, this kitchen's working layout is a back-to-back or parallel style working environment, which is very efficient for many kitchen staff to work at once while preparing multiple items.
On the right, you can see a hand washing station. The photo in the middle is their new giant steamer, which can be used for many different items. And on the left is a large convection oven.
The largest walk-in cooler on the first floor is shown here. Temperatures are recorded on the sheet Paula is holding on the left. The plastic flaps hanging down in the center help keep the cool air in when the cooler is open.
Chemicals are stored in a closet safely. An eye washing station is located close by for emergencies. And this office on the right is used by the executive chef and managers to plan staffing, menus, and organize necessary paperwork.
Moving on to storage and receiving. In the center photo, you'll see the door where deliveries come in. They are accepted by the receiver, who accepts deliveries and puts them away. When items are received, they are checked for compliance with specs by the receiver, who checks them against the purchase order. If there is a substitution being made, the receiver checks the ingredients to ensure they are the same due to allergy safety issues. He is also ensuring that the price is the same as the ordered product. Decisions about major substitutions go to the executive chef. If the product is rejected, it is shipped right back, which results in immediate credit for Sodexo. If it's damaged, it's rejected. If it looks like it was time temperature abused, it's also rejected. If it comes in out of date, it's rejected. This is done on the invoice at the time of delivery. Deliveries are moved to the elevator, which is in the photo on the left. This is not a passenger elevator. Staff must use the stairs, shown here on the right, to get to the storage areas in the basement. Another upgrade that Sage must look into in the future is making this space handicap accessible for all of its employees. This is currently not the case, and anyone that cannot use stairs will not be able to get to the storage downstairs. When you see just how much is stored down there, you'll see what a problem that might be.
In the basement, there are 3 very large coolers in a row. Paula is in the center, opening one of them. At one point, she realized they didn't need all 3, and one was converted to a regular dry storage closet, as shown on the left, which resulted in a big savings in energy use.
More photos of supplies organized and labeled. The center photo is an example of a ready-to-go box for special events.
In the photo on the right here, you can see part of the gate and padlock to the area where the dry storage is kept. It is locked at the end of every day and monitored by the receiver. Alcohol is also locked in a separate storage area to avoid pilferage.
As you can see, they have a lot of stuff and a lot of space.
Here is the soda and some more can storage on the right.
There's a huge walk-in freezer from the outside on the left and on the inside in the photo on the right. This is also in the basement. As you can see, they don't have a lot of food in the freezer. Paula explained to us that her new executive chef keeps about $6,000 less in stock than previous chefs. This helps reduce pilferage because with such a small stock, you know very quickly if something is missing. It also ensures that the food is fresh.
Paula Presley is the general manager that took us on the tour of the facility and answered all of our questions. Her official title is Director for Dining. She has been in food service for 30 years and began as a chef, worked her way up to an executive chef in Austin, Texas, and then joined management with Sodexo from there. She has been with the Sage Colleges for 3 years.
Before the semester begins, all employees receive a refresher group training as they have been off for 2 months over the summer. They review required safety information and discuss any new things on campus. The company goals and vision are discussed at this time as well. The most frequent meetings that occur between staff members are the daily huddles, where they review any events or activity occurring on campus, open positions, upcoming holidays, how college shutdown will be handled, among other things. The executive chef has production meetings with cooks. There's also a safety committee that meets monthly with a physical safety and food safety topic each month, which is communicated to all employees. Managers meet every Thursday to review important topics such as HR, staffing, marketing materials, events, and training needs. Employees have in-services with leadership teams in which they learn to review contracts, how to build budgets, and how to read a contract.
Paula uses trends to build the budget along with future assumptions and upcoming events at Sage and changing academic programs. She'll add less or more spending based on changing enrollment and these upcoming events. Paula reviews the financials weekly, compares them with what was budgeted, and then that is reforecasted to the next month. So far this year, Paula is under what was budgeted. Part of Paula's job includes calculating labor's cost per meal and labor cost per day, and using these numbers as a key result indicator for efficiency. She also uses meals per labor hour for staffing. For example, for each meal served, there should be a certain amount of labor hours for staff. She also assigns each manager a certain number of labor hours per week to use for staffing, with an average being 665 hours per week. Managers review staff hours mid-pay week to identify those employees that are at risk for overtime. However, anytime there is an increase in revenue, there is going to be an increase in staff needs, so overtime is not always seen as a negative. Overtime is given to staff as a reward. There's a list hanging in the kitchen for staff to sign up if they want overtime, and this is preferred over using a temp agency, so there's no training time involved. The overtime sign-up sheet is filled out on a first-come, first-served basis.
Paula works with management and cooks to determine what equipment is needed and what trends may need to be filled in the future with specific equipment. They're currently looking into adding a wood-fired pizza oven. To do this, she then works with facilities to determine what equipment the building can handle as it is very old. An engineer was brought in to do a kitchen assessment in order for Sage to set up a deferred maintenance program to determine how much money would be needed to replace dying equipment. All coolers need to be replaced, which is happening slowly, and the elevator for storage was just repaired after being broken for a long time. The executive chef places the food order based on recipes selected, quantity to be served, and current supplies. Purchasing is done by Paula, the general manager, and she may choose from large vendors that Sodexo has contracted with, such as Tyson, but a small portion of her budget is also allocated for local vendors, such as bakeries and farmers markets.
Food that has been on the serving line is discarded at the end of the day. Food maintained in the kitchen is donated to the Food Recovery Network via the Russell Sage Nutrition Club. There is a standardized recipe system in place, and from these recipes, production worksheets are utilized to control product usage, limiting waste from overproduction, portion sizes can be controlled in production, but not on the self-serve line. Recipes or what is on the menu for a particular day can be changed by the executive chef, unit manager, or supervisor in that order.
McKinstry has implemented a composting program. The sign on the right is hung above every garbage can as a reminder to students.
There is also a HACCP program in place. All of the unit managers, supervisors, and most of the cooks are ServSafe trained. There is a regular pest control program in place as well.
The facility is inspected by the Department of Health and by a third-party inspection agency chosen by Sodexo annually. Inspection results are always favorable. On-site managers perform 3 monthly inspections following the guidelines used by the above agencies. Maintenance issues are detected during regular inspection, and work orders are placed for repair, usually to outside contractors and repair companies.
There are special catered events that take place throughout the year. They are revenue-producing events staffed by current employees. These events produce approximately 5% of the annual income for the facility. The assistant to the general manager handles the billing for these events. Also in place are emergency plans and training for fire, active shooter, and intentional contamination of food products for employees.
As you can see, there is a lot to running a large food service operation.